All right, y'all. Sit down, lie down, squat down. But it's me, Bell Tells. Before we kick this off and get going, I wanted to say don't forget to subscribe. You don't have to click the bell, but if you want to get notifications, click that bell. And also don't forget to order your t-shirts because they're in and they're ready. So, let's get going. So the name of the story today, the lesson, whatever you want to call it, is stop trying to fix and change people. Over the years, I have noticed and I have heard different people talk about issues they have with their significant other or another family member. And my thing that I always say is, you're not going to fix or change them. You're just going to have to learn how to accept who they are. And if you don't like who they are, cut bait and get down the road. But stop tearing somebody down. Stop telling them how wrong they are just because they don't do what you want them to do. And I feel if we will get to learn people for who they are, you might actually learn something from them. You might learn a lesson they've gone through that maybe you can avoid from going through. So I'm going to give a couple examples of that and elaborate a little bit more on last week's story, which was Reasons and Seasons. Okay. If you haven't watched it, go watch it because it's a precursor to what I'm going to talk about today. So one of the things I've noticed that men in particular, because that I date, one of the luring things is the fact that I'm confident, I'm not needy, I'm not clingy, the independence is attractive, but in the end, I have noticed it is the precursor for the breakup every time. And the thing that always confuses me is you knew what you were getting into. This wasn't anything new. This wasn't something I sprung on you or changed 4 months ago. I mean, you knew this going into it. So the first example I'm going to give is there was a guy I dated a couple years ago. And he liked the fact that I was outgoing, independent. It was something that he found extremely attractive in the beginning. Well, one day, we've been dating, 4 months, 5 months, ain't long. He was at my house. And I had come out of, I don't know if I was cooking and came out of the kitchen or my room. I went to grab something, came out, and I noticed he was real quiet. He was huddled up in the corner of the living room on the couch. And I happened to look. I was kind of like, I don't know why that grabbed my attention, but I looked. He's going through my phone. Let me tell you something. You don't go through my phone. I am not a child. I'm a grown woman. I will not be checked up on. You don't do that to me. That is such an invasion of privacy. And that really, really ticked me off. And I remember snatching up my phone and I looked him dead in the eyes and I said, what gives you the right to go through my phone? And his response was, well, I wanted to know who you're talking to. It ain't none of your business who I'm talking to. Don't go through my stuff. I've not given you any reason not to trust me, and yet you're going to go through my stuff? Get whatever you got in my house and get out. We're done. That is the deal breaker for me. There is no negotiating. We don't need to talk. We're done. You don't go through my phone. That is such an invasion of my privacy. And if you have to check up on somebody, you need to cut bait and go, because that means you don't trust them. And to me, if you don't have trust in a relationship, cut bait and go. Just the fact that he was checking up, God, that went all over me. So he was gathering what little he had, and it wasn't much. And he was standing at the front door. And he was giving me 20 reasons why we were going to break up. And I remember looking at him and I said, let me tell you something. What gives you the right to fix and change me? Obviously, you got trust issues you need to work on. Why don't you fix and change that? Don't go through my stuff. You invaded my privacy. And I don't really care why we're breaking up anymore. I don't care why you're leaving. I don't need to hear all the reasonings. You just need to get out and go. Like, we're done. Well, he continued to stand at my front door, giving me more reasons why we just can't be together. I got so tired of that. I mean, it was wearing me out. And I looked at him and I said, you know something? If God Almighty made me this way, who are you to try and change me? I said, let me help you out. I walked over to the front door and I opened it up and I said, you free to go. You need me to call you an Uber? I mean, you got a car in my driveway. Why don't you get on out the road? And I remember him being shocked. And I said, I don't want to sit here and rehash all the reasons why I'm not good enough or I'm not going to change. It doesn't matter. I am who I am. One of the things that he kept going on and on about was the fact that I have guy friends. And I flat out told him, you knew about these men long before we started dating. And their wives know about me. I mean, I'm friendly with the wives. So I don't understand what the problem is, because there ain't nothing shady going on. Because they were men, he wanted them out of my life. I said, no. You don't throw away a 20, 30 year. One 20 years, the other one was 30 years of friendship. You don't throw that away. You're crazy. You think I'm going to give that up? No. I said, these men have been in my world long before you came along, and they're going to be here long after you gone. So I guess he didn't like my response, and he didn't like the fact that I was helping him out the front door. So he went over and sat on my couch. And he said, you ain't getting rid of me that easy. What? It's my house. You're going to go willingly or forcefully. Either way, you're getting out of my house. And that's something else I've learned over the years. If people want to walk out of your life, let them go. Kind of like I said last week. There are reasons and seasons people are in your life. And if they exit your world, their season in your life is over. You've learned the reasoning. You've learned the life lesson that they have bestowed on you. Let them go. So I told him, I just said, you either can leave willingly, or I can call a couple people I know and they're going to snatch you up by the nape of the neck and put you out on my front porch, but you're getting out of my house. And the other thing I learned in that lesson at that time was, don't let people label you. Folks, you are responsible for your self-esteem, your self-worth, and your overall view of yourself. Key word, common denominator, is self. Do not let people label you or tell you your value or your worth. That is your job and your job only. Because if I listened to what people had to say about me, I would never have the confidence that I have. I would never have the independence that I have. Don't let people tell you who you are. Do not listen to the negative and the naysayers in your life. Don't do it. You are responsible for your own actions and reactions and your overall view of yourself. Don't let people affect that. Know who you are, carry your head up, and be confident in who you are. The other example I'm going to give you is I had dated another one. Same scenario, liked me. So the other example that I'm going to give is there was another guy that I had dated, and we were friends for a solid year. So homeboy knew what he was getting into from the jump. I mean, ain't no shocker or surprises there. So as we were friends for a solid year, dated 6 months. About 3 months into it, I started going, I don't know if this is going to be a good fit for me. There was little things I was seeing that I was like, he was copacetic when we were friends. Now that we boyfriend and girlfriend, he ain't cool with all this. So 3 months into it, I was him-hawing back and forth. I'm not one to just cut bait immediately and go. I kind of feel it out to see what's going to happen, where it'll go before I make the final decision. We had a few talks. It went in one ear out the other. So there was a particular night, and I said, this is it. I'm done. Like, we're done. And I knew that the breakup was coming, but I didn't want to I don't feel you should handle people out of anger. I don't feel you should discipline your children out of anger. I think you need to take a step back, take a couple deep breaths, then address the situation when you've had time to cool down and you can be more rational. I waited a week. I was that mad. Whew! Boy, I was fuming. So I remember telling him we need to talk. He didn't want to talk. And I said, listen, we're going to do this either willingly, like not willingly. I said, we can either do this tastefully or tacky. Either way, it's your call. But this is going to go down. So he knew it was going to happen. So he said, all right, fine, call me. Okay. So I did. And the first thing out of his mouth was, I don't think we're a good fit. I said, oh, you made this so much easier for me. I said, I agree. He goes, you do? Absolutely. I mean, you have helped me solve the problem. I said, we can be friends, but this is not going to be a good fit for you and me. You don't like my outgoing attitude. Basically, I'm a free spirit. I like to go and do. I don't feel I need to check in with the man. I don't need a man. I want a man, but I don't need one. And that is a different mindset that I feel he couldn't grasp. He needs to be with the one. I told him, I said, you need to be with the woman that needs you. I don't need you. I wanted you around. I wanted to hang out. I wanted to enjoy your time, but I don't need you. I can do me all by myself. Like, I got this figured out. That was one of the things that bothered him in the end. And I said, but you knew this going into it. We were friends for a solid year. What happened? Well, I thought you would change. There it is. There it is. I said, no, that ain't fair. You can't fix and change me. The independent, self-sufficient, my free spirit, gutsy attitude, that's not going to change. So he followed it up with, well, it bothers me you have guy friends. Again, with the guy friend thing. I said, listen, there's two in particular that I keep in contact with, but they're married. I mean, this is nothing new. You knew when we were friends. I don't understand the problem now. He says, well, when you get in a relationship, you're supposed to end all contact with the opposite sex. I was like, well, maybe for you. He said, I don't talk to anybody. I said, that's your problem, not mine. I'm not cutting off friendships I've had for years, decades, because you're insecure. And I gave the same speech. They gonna be here. They were here long before you came along. They gonna be here long after you gone. That's fine with me. And I said something else. I said, oh, and he said to me, oh, you still hang out with them? I said, no, I really haven't had time to hang out with them. But you still talk to them on the phone? Oh, yeah. I mean, we talk on, once in a while. Yeah, whenever I got time. And then I stopped and I thought about it. I said, wait a minute. No, that's not it. It's not a guy and a girl thing. Because I went and had lunch with the girls at this time when we talked. I said about a month ago. You got pissed off. Why? Well, because you didn't run it by me before you went and had lunch. First of all, I had lunch with the girls during a work week. It's not like we were going out to the bar or a club. We were having lunch on a work day. I don't need to run anything by you or get your permission to spend my money. No. Well, when you're in a relationship, there are things that have to change. Listen, Slick. You ain't gonna fix me, change me. I will not change who I am for nobody. And in all fairness, you knew what you were getting into. Now, if it's too much, we need to cut bait and get on down the road. I'm good with that. Because not everybody's meant for somebody. Not two people are meant to be together. Maybe they're just better off as friends. It is what it is. So, with that, I cut that one loose. And that's kind of the point of today. You got to learn how to accept people for who they are. Don't try and fix, don't try and change them. They are who they are because of things they've gone through, trials and tribulations in life. And it's okay. It's okay. But worry about fixing and changing you. Worry about making you better instead of trying to alter and fix and change somebody else. Control what you do. Don't try and control what somebody else does. And don't let people label you. You are responsible for your self-esteem, your self-worth, and your overall view of yourself. Do not let people label you. And that is actually going to be another thing I get into on a different show about labeling people, because it's something that happened to me. And I will get into more details because I don't want to get into too many details right now because I want to save it. But it's a good example, and I'll tell you when we get there. But that's it. That's today's life lesson. All right, y'all. Please and thank yous are a must. A smile never hurt no one. Be cognizant of the things you say and how you say them, because kindness is priceless. All right. And I got a little surprise video again for y'all midweek, so be looking for it. Have a good week. Bye-bye.